the topic that we are discussing today is something that I believe is very germane to people in professions where they suddenly find themselves. You know, and so because people suddenly find themselves in this profession, some people don't consider it to be a profession, as it were. You know, just because it's the first thing that was available for them after they graduated from school. You won't find yourself accidentally in the hospital as a doctor, never. Nobody's going to give you a lab coat, you know, the coat to wear as a doctor. But you could wake up and find yourself a salesperson, all right? But that does not mean that there are things that you can do to improve your game in the profession. There are things that you can do to improve the lot of the business that you are handling, because everybody sells. So that's another dimension to it. Everything, whether you are selling your talent, you are selling ideas, you're selling services, whoever you are, doctors that have private clinics need to do marketing. They need to sell their services for them to make money. So it's not about me today. It's about my two guests that have, you know, taken, you know, how would I put it, the responsibility on themselves to be available this afternoon to share knowledge with us. These are two people that I've known for a couple of years, and I believe that they know what we're going to talk about today. So without much ado, I'm going to call on Mr. Shola Oyegbade. He is the head of learning of FCMB. Okay, Adam, FCMB is one of the foremost financial institutions in Nigeria. So he's the one in charge of the Learning Academy. They have an academy in the bank. So for the rest of us, I'm sure we are familiar with FCMB. So this is the head of learning. So he's going to tell us, do a little bit of introduction about how he has been able to use learning to drive performance in the organization. So, and thereafter, I'm going to allow Adam to come. Adam is the sales and membership director for ISM. ISM is one of the largest and, of course, the oldest sales association in the world. One of the largest, but I'm sure the oldest, right, Adam? It's over 100 years old. Yes, so he's the sales and membership director based in UK, and then he's also going to be telling us why ISM is the impact that they are making on businesses in UK and all around the world, how they are using knowledge to help organizations, you know, to help their game. So, Mr. Oyegbade, please, you can go on, and of course, we'll allow more people to join as we move on.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Genga, for having me, and thanks also for giving me the privilege to rub shoulders with Adam. All right, someone coming from such a very impactful organization and from that region of the world, UK. All right, all of us, anything coming from UK, we always, you are our colonial master. So anything that comes from UK, we always look at it like, wow, is the model, is the standard, as it were. So privilege meeting with you this afternoon. Okay, and the conversation, using learning to drive organizational performance. I dare say it's the right conversation for the now, particularly given the disruption that we are all experiencing in the world. No sector is spared, no profession is spared. Some are actually more impacted than others, but clearly we are all in a phase that I've been telling everybody that cares to learn, to hear, that we are all globally, whether you are UK, you are US, you are USSR, Nigeria, we are all in the phase of learning. The world, as we see it now, we are in the phase of learning. So what it means is that anybody that wants to survive, anybody that wants to thrive in this new age that we find ourselves, must of a necessity embrace that learning mindset. A mindset not just even for my job, not just for my function, but for my own sanity, all right, for my balance, for my, for me to remain relevant to my world, all right, remain relevant to my world and be able to communicate the value that I have. I need to be open, I need to be inquisitive, and I need to be curious. So I'm starting on that note to let everybody know that what we are discussing here today goes beyond just your job. It's about your own survival. How do you continue to maintain your competitive edge, all right, in a world that is shifting at the speed of thought. Okay, so I haven't settled that, which means now looking at learning as a tool for driving organizational performance. Okay, I'm going to say that it is not possible for any individual, talk less of an organization, to give what they don't have. So if you can't give what you don't have, then it becomes critical for you to begin to ask yourself, first audit yourself. What do I have to offer my world? All right, as an individual and as an organization. So now come to the conversation of within an organization. Organization is an abstract. It is people within the organization that makes the organization. So when you are talking about using learning to drive organizational performance, we are actually saying that how can we get more from the people that drives the organization? So if we are saying that we want to get more from people that drive the performance of the organization, then we need to ask ourselves, what is the current level of the capacity of the people that we have within the organization? Because for any organization to achieve its intended goals and objectives, you must carry out what we call self-appraisal, self-assessment in terms of SWOT analysis. What competencies do we have internally? All right, vis-a-vis what we want to achieve. All right, what is the gap between what we have and what we need to have to get to where we are going? And that is where you begin to talk about the capabilities of the people within the organization. And that is where you plug in the learning part. Because again, I am not discussing learning as a piece of content. I'm not discussing learning as a piece of program. I'm discussing learning as a, performance strategy tool. All right, learning as a strategic tool to bring about transformation in the business. So if we agree, in fact, as a matter of fact, at this point, I want everybody on this call, please help me go into the chat room and drop in there that learning is a strategic tool for transformation. Put it there, learning is a strategic tool until you recognize it that way, until you see it, that the same way you sit down to carry out strategy, and you are asking yourself that what do we need to do in order to move the organization forward? In that conversation, if learning is not at the center of it, that strategy will fail. That strategy will fail. And even at the individual level, if you are aspiring to move ahead in your career, all right, to make progress in your field of endeavor, and you have not allocated resources or investment towards your personal development, trust me, you can't go far in that career. I hope you are getting me. So the strategic tool for bringing about transformation in any organization or entity is learning. Trust me, it was Albert Einstein that says that we can never solve the problem that we face at the same level of thinking that we were when we created the problem. And don't forget, people who exist in the organization to solve problems. So, and the more you get new problem, you have to elevate your thinking. So how do you elevate your thinking to be able to solve new problem? Because you can't solve new problem with old thinking. And that is where learning comes in. So my job in FCMB, for instance, when I became the head of the academy in 2017, all right, by the way, I've been in the academy for about 8 years before I became the head of the academy. All right, and I've done that for about 3 years now. Now, the first thing I did was to ask myself that what is going to be my strategic trust for the academy. So, and I realized that my strategic trust for the academy is to, this is it, I'm giving it for you word for word. The strategic trust of FCMB Academy, Training Academy, all right, is to build a learning organization where the total, I say that again, my commitment, we are committed, my team in the academy, together with the support of the management, committed to building FCMB as a learning organization. I'm going to come and define the learning organization for you. To build FCMB to become a learning organization where the total knowledge base will be exceptionally high. That is a lofty dream to now establish that, yes, we have added value to you. Now, I wanted to share a concept with you. It is called PPC balance. PPC balance is production and production capability balance. What does that mean? Break it down. All right, it has its origin in a story of a farmer who has goose in his farm. All right, and the goose are always laying a golden egg. The goose is always laying the golden egg. So in fact, it was accidentally, he stumbled on it and he realized, this my goose is producing, is instead of laying normal egg, is laying golden egg. So he went there, he picked it, and he took it to the market, and lo and behold, it was a real egg. I mean, real gold. So every day he would go to the goose, all right? The goose will have laid the golden egg, he will pick it again and take it to the market, and he became a billionaire, obviously. But he became so greedy. Yeah, please unmute yourself, Benga, if you are talking. Benga, if you are talking, unmute yourself.
Yes, you know, you have taken, sorry, I went out. I don't know what happened to me. I think my enemy's at work. All right, so please, yes, please. So you have taken about 15 minutes. I think we should just allow Adam to come in, because I'm sure you're going to have the opportunity to still extend some of your thoughts.
Okay.
With the questions that
I didn't even know that you were thrown out, so I thought you would stop me when you are done.
I'm going to pause you. Yes. Thank you very much. So Adam, please. I'm so sorry, everyone. I mean, this is very unfortunate, but I'm back.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Good morning.
Fantastic. Well, hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Adam Benjamin Brock. I'm Sales Marketing Director at the Institute of Sales Management. Gubenga, thank you very much for inviting me to this. I have known Gubenga for 3 years. I think he was one of the first members to reach out to me. And it's only today that I've managed to pronounce his name correctly. So thank you very much for not losing it too much. But I am the Sales Marketing Director at the Institute of Sales Management. We've been around since 1911. And membership bodies, we represent sales professionals from, you know, one man and his dog, which is a one-man firm. It's just a slang term here in the UK, to the very largest of firms in the world. And they all have problems, they all have issues, they all have struggles. And we, as the thought leaders and representatives of our sales profession, they come to us for solutions. We are the representatives, we're not the experts, you are. The sales professionals that do their job on a daily basis are the experts. We just have the privilege of representing them and have done since 1911. So please take a few moments of your time to have a look at our website and sort of dig around and see what we do. But Gubenga, thank you very much for your invitation. Now, onto a couple of things. Gubenga mentioned sales is, I think you were mentioning this in your introduction. I'll be very quick. I'll be over in about 2 minutes. One is that Gubenga mentioned in his introduction, people aren't trained sales in schools. Your parents want you to be a doctor. Your parents want you to be my parents wanted me to be a pilot. So yeah, with glasses, that obviously didn't work out very well. But I think parents always want the best for you. And you have to look inside yourself. You have to decide what your passion is. As a very young man or a woman, what do you want to do? And sales can either be, I love this phrase, the lowest paid and the easiest job in the world, or the highest paid and the hardest job in the world. Just think about that for a minute. You can either have a very easy life and not do much with your life at all, or you can go out there and fix problems and provide solutions and make a lot of money from it. People buy people. People trust people. People will do business and work with you if you are their friend. And I think one of the big challenges is that we are a fixer of problems. People come to salespeople because they have an issue that they need to be solved. So as long as you go in with the intent of fixing their problem rather than making a sale at any means, you're more likely to not only build your own personal reputation, but also secure that client for the rest of your life, no matter where you go. Because sales is I'd like to think it's a small world. Wherever you go, whatever you do, people will always remember how you treated them. Don't focus on the money, focus on the relationships, focus on, this is my own personal belief, it's not the ISM by the way, but focus on fixing problems and providing the best service available. And that's all I have to say on that. Gobenga, back to you.
Yeah, so we have a couple of questions that I want to run through, both of you. Thank you very much for that introduction. Some of these questions came in while people were registering for this event. Okay, so the first one that I would like to throw across, I think I can ask Shola to answer this. How can an employee's engagement be improved through learning? So you have about 1 minute or so to be able to, handle this. Shola, please, over to you. You are muted. You're mute.
All right. So thank you very much, Benga. Employee engagement is about one is about openness, is about transparency, is about communication. All right. And if you want to be able to do that, you have to be able to promote. You have to be able to promote that culture of openness, culture of transparency, and culture of communication in the organization. All right. The more you allow people to feel free to communicate, the more they will be engaged and the more they will be involved. All right, in whatever you want to do, because the end game of engagement is always for you to get people to do something. All right, I'm engaging you to get something from you or to do something for you. So basically, it is communication. You must create that culture in that organization whereby everybody, all right, is given the right to be able to communicate freely, and there's no fear, or there's how will I put it? You don't guard people in your organization. You allow them. People are not punished for being open, for being, bold, for being, courageous to say what they see in the organization. So engagement won't happen except people feel free to express themselves. That's what I would say. So create that atmosphere of freedom, if I can call it that, and transparency. Okay, whereby people are allowed to make their mistakes, even when I say something that is wrong. All right, I will not be sanctioned. I will not be put. There won't be any punitive measure against it.
Okay, because I was going to ask you to make reference to learning, because that question was actually about how do you use learning to keep people engaged. So I think that point that you made about not bullying people when they make mistakes, about allowing people to make sincere mistakes on the job. So communicating that to them, I believe, can encourage people to learn in organizations, so that when they learn, they have the opportunity to implement what they have learned, or to use what they have learned, to improve the business. Okay, that's a good one. Adam.
Yes.
This one goes to you. How can learning be encouraged within an organization?
I love this question when you answered it. I think you have to go back to what was your reason for joining the company in the first place, right? Okay. Why did you join this company over the others that probably wanted you to join them? Can I give a personal example? Can I impart why I joined one organization? Can I go into that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yes.
so why I joined? So when I was about 27 years old, I had a couple of offers from various companies, and I chose one company over another, not because of anything else other than the person that was going to be my boss. That was it. I looked at him. I didn't join the company. I didn't join the brand. I didn't join their website. I joined because of the guy that would be leading me. And this guy, if I mention him anymore, I'll mention it to you. I'll mention it one day, but I've mentioned him so many times, I think he'll kill me. But he is the reason I am the person I am today. He went through a period of learning. I looked through his LinkedIn. He not only had qualifications, also had life experience as well. And I looked to him as my benchmark. I didn't join. Does that make sense? So I joined knowing that if I put in the hours, I'd end up being like him. And that is the only reason I joined. And it was the best decision of my life. So there were other companies out there that offered more money. There were companies out there that offered me travel opportunities. One to Nigeria. Obviously, I didn't really. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't say yes to that. But then the one thing I loved was this guy. And I am all I am because of him.
Fantastic. that was a great decision you took, at the point of taking that decision. But sometimes what you have said, I mean, it's very quite profound. But I think for us in Nigeria here, you may not have the opportunity of knowing exactly who you're going to work with.
Okay.
And then sometimes maybe when you also have the expectation and then you are meeting the person, maybe it won't last for too long before you have moved to another organization. But I think that was a very good one. I mean, people can always take that decision or take the decision to join an organization for for whatever valid reason. But like you said, I mean, so that person exemplified an image of someone who you can learn from, and just like you have said, you have attributed much of it. Yeah.
He didn't force it on me. He learned, he led by example, which was so annoying because there were things in my life when I was in that job where I realized I couldn't do certain things. And then he would, you can't drag a horse to water. That's the famous phrase. I can tell you a dozen times, do not do that. But until you do it and you make a mistake, only then will you do it. Right? So he led by example. I think the best leaders in the world are the ones who lead by example and don't force you to do something. There is a big thing at the moment in society. Do not give credibility to someone who has 300 million followers. They just have 300 million followers. It doesn't mean they're right.
That, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do not social media is very important. I know we're banking off a little bit here. I'm sorry, but do not put your faith in your own career path into someone who's followed over someone who, just because you're followed doesn't mean
follow. Yeah, because somebody doesn't have up to 10 to 100 followers, that does not mean that the person is not someone to follow in real life. So I guess followership on social media is virtual, but I think the real life is what we should pay more attention to. All right, thank you very much. So there's this very interesting question that is coming to you now, Mr. Oyegbade. So, should employees' learning be tailored towards organizational needs or personal growth?
All right, thank you very much.
I'm in an organization, I have my personal goals and ambitions, and then the organization has their needs. So if I am to be developed, what should be the priority? Should it be my personal development or the growth of the organization? I think you should share this with us from some personal experience.
Okay, thank you very much, Benga. And let me first say something about what Adam said earlier on. What he said about joining an organization because of the manager, all right, is actually very profound because research has shown that people don't leave organization, people leave people. People leave manager. And most time people don't stay in organization, they stay because of people, all right? And whenever they want to leave, they also leave because of people. So it's very, very profound. All right, he's a very smart person, but here in our climb, people tend to just go for where they get the highest money. I can tell you for free, I've been called up in different organizations, but I can't go there because again, the people there will determine the culture, and culture will trump vision anytime, any day. Do you understand? So that's just by the way. So back to the
strategy for breakfast.
Exactly, and it trumps vision too. All right. So now, very quickly, your question is for me to say, okay, how can an individual, all right, align? I mean, how should an organization train an individual? Should I train you based on your own personal developmental needs, or should I train you based on the developmental need for the organization to grow the organization? I will tell you yes for the organizational need, and I will tell you why. But the individual will need to quickly do something similar to what Adam did. Because one, if you're in an organization where your personal aspiration is not in alignment with that of the organization, then which means you are in the wrong place. I'm saying that again with all emphasis, you are in the wrong place. If you're in an organization where your personal aspiration is not in alignment with the aspiration of that organization, you are in the wrong place. You can be in that place and continue to get money, but in terms of personal fulfillment, it's going to elude you. And this is what do? It's either two things. You have two options. They said if the desirable is not available, then the available must of a necessity become the desirable. So for you to be in an organization that does not, their values are not in alignment with yours, it's either you throw away your values and embrace theirs, or you get out of that organization. It's the brutal truth. Because in the long run, you are going to struggle. All right, you are not having personal fulfillment. And let me now bring it down. Organizations will only be training you towards the fulfillment of their own objectives.
Absolutely.
All right. I was going to share a story of that goose and the golden egg earlier on. It's about you killing the goose that is laying the golden egg. Organizations don't mind.
So true.
Do you understand? So for me, I think, and that is why, again, Benga, you need to begin to canvas for people to take their career into their own hands. If my organization is not training me for my own personal developmental needs, and I know that my organization is just a passing phase in my career, I must of a necessity be building myself in that area where I consider to be my primary areas of passion. Are you with me? So, because some people, I always tell people, even my organization, how much training can they give you? On the average, we give every staff in my organization, you have 60 hours of training hours, 60 hours of training in a year. That's approximately eight days of training. And I'm asking myself that how can you be trained 8 days out of 365 days in a year, and you think that is sufficient? So that is why we canvas for individuals. Please take personal responsibility for your learning. As a matter of fact, your learning and your learning is your motivation, and your motivation should never be left in the hands of a third party. Let me say that again. Your learning is your motivation, all right, and your motivation should never be left in the hands of a third party. Your motivation should never be left in the hands of the third party. So if my organization is not training me, what am I doing? I must train myself. Out of your salary, how much do you put aside for personal development? Your salary is the reward for what you have done. So if you want to be, and it's a function of what you have. So how do you now even maintain yourself to be able to produce more so that you can earn more?
Fantastic.
It's still on that PPC balance. So yes. By the way,
that was very profound. Thank you very much for those submissions. And I think this actually goes to answer the next question that was talking about what do you do when your work culture doesn't encourage learning? That is when you are in an environment that does not encourage. You've answered it. I don't need to go.
Just train yourself. Invest in yourself.
Take the personal responsibility to train yourself, to develop yourself. Okay, so let me go to Adam again. All right. So there is this issue here in Nigeria. Okay. People are looking at certificates, and then some people are saying, I don't have the certificate, but I have experience. Okay. So, that's the background to this question. So someone is asking, should employees be remunerated or promoted for a milestone reached in additional certification or qualification from self-learning activities? Or would the priority be on experience? Should people be promoted on experience or based on the kind of professional certifications that they have acquired?
Okay, so going back very quickly, I feel like this is a bit like a Netflix series because we keep going back on what was said before we go on, but yeah. I'm going to pronounce your name completely incorrectly here. I'm really sorry, but Shola, right?
Shola, yes.
You said people leave companies, people leave companies, not their managers. Well, my manager who made me who I am today left the company, and 2 weeks later, so did I.
No. What I actually said, what you are saying, I said people leave managers, they don't leave organizations.
I get that. After 2-3 years at this company where we achieved fantastic growth, my manager got an opportunity elsewhere. He ended up bringing me with him.
That is it. That's all happened.
Right. So your question, Gabenga, your question on experience versus qualifications. I love this because you can have 10 years experience in something and in one job, but all that means is you've done the same thing every year.
10 years over.
It doesn't mean that you've got 10 years experience. It means you've got experience of doing the same thing for 10 years. I think I love the phrase results don't lie.
All right.
Amazing. People can say, I'm amazing. I've got to make one thing you'll never see with us, and I'll go off traction, but I hate businesses. I love the world and all that. It's just you trying to be bigger than you are. I think people need to figure out the answer. No, it's 2 + 2. You can't give them the answer 4. They need to figure it out on their own that that's the answer. So in terms of qualifications and experience, it's a very good question. I mean, look, if you were managing a nuclear power station or operating on someone, then yeah, qualification is probably a good thing. I don't want to go to the dentist and just about as I'm about to fall asleep and the dentist standing over me with a chisel and he says, oh, by the way, I only have like a couple of years experience. I would die. But if it was someone else that's dropped out of college, he surrounds himself with
professionals,
experts.
Correct.
Richard Branson wanted to travel, you know, he wanted to break. Do you remember back in the 90s, he was flying helicopters all over the world? Yeah, he also, many failed businesses, lots of experience, but he surrounds himself with experts. There's a lot of people out there who do not go to university yet make it. And there are people who have gone to university and make it. And I think the problem is on both sides of the fence, it's not where you've come from, it's what you're doing with it. What do you do with all this knowledge? I mean, knowledge really only kind of, for me, okay, I'm really sorry, I didn't go to university. I never went. I got the opportunity to go when I was younger, decided not to go because I didn't want to get into debt, and ended up spending 5 years of my life in Ghana. Yes, it's not Nigeria, I know.
Yeah.
But what did that teach me? It taught me things. I am who I am because of my experience. I am who I am because of who I've been led by. And I am who I am because I'm constantly looking up. You know, I'm not settled where I am. I want to be someone up. So who do I look to? There is continual people who don't go to university like myself. I spend hours reading, learning, watching TED Talks. I represent the sales profession. I need to be on top of my game. It doesn't mean I stand still. People who stand still die, right? So qualifications versus experience. Again, I think this harks back to, I think you're asking, would I hire someone over experience versus
over experience over qualification? Yes.
I would hire someone over how people talk about them. They, you know, one of the greatest companies I ever had the privilege of getting to know was a company called Cognizant. They didn't build a company, they built a family of sales professionals. And you bring someone into your family who's going to add to that family, not disrupt it. So qualifications versus experience, I would say it depends on the role, depends on who you're helping. Of course, it helps with proposals. You know, it helps with business proposals. I mean, Gbenga, you've got something like 300 million post-nominals after your name, but it's a way of demonstrating that you're a professional.
Yeah.
But would I, it comes down to relationships. It comes down to how is this person going to be a positive force, not only for my company, but also the people that are already here.
Fantastic. Well, for me, I think my thought for that would be that your certifications is like a door opener for you. I mean, you are more visible. Exactly. So you're more visible to people when you say you've got this certification.
Yes,
people will need to stay with.
If I may cut in, one of the things that is very interesting is that I've pinged you a link privately to a website, but everyone who's on this webinar, I'll be sending you this magazine.
Oh, fantastic.
So this is a magazine that we publish every quarter, and it goes out to all of our members. You can see me on the side. I feel like I'm peeking out of a window. But in here is a story of a gentleman who works at Siemens, one of the largest companies on the planet, who didn't intend to go into sales. In fact, he fell into it. And not only that, he's managed to gain promotion, pay rise. He's managed to gain respect, all from an ISM qualification. Now, I'm not going to plug ISM qualifications. I don't think this is the right platform, but have a look at what we can offer. I mean, in this magazine, and I'll send it to you, everyone. It's a PDF. It won't be a physical one because I don't think it'll get more customers. But in here,
COVID-19.
I mean, in here, I mean, we do a publication on his learning journey. And in there, his very first sentence is, I've worked in a sales environment for 13 years. Why am I telling you that? Because my background is not sales. You know, and it's exactly what, you know, your good friend from the bank said, who I can't pronounce his name because I don't even want to try it because I'll miss it. But it's true.
It's very easy. Shola. Not solar. Don't say solar. It's Shola.
I'll call him many things over this webinar.
You can keep it easy, all right? Just keep it very simple. You can say SO. All right, if you say SO, right, SO, keep it simple.
My name is so easy, Adam.
Adam, yes, the first man.
The first man, indeed.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so another question that we have here. I'm just trying to pick, sort through the questions. We have quite a number of them. So Shola, please, how should conflict in learning be resolved in a situation where the domain, okay, I think this was similar to the other question, in which an employer wants his employee to be trained is different from what the employee wants. I think that's, you kind of answered that in the previous one, that we should take the personal responsibility.
So it's also now, let me seize the opportunity to just give us a framework. In any organization, there's always, and this one, I mean, I didn't read it in any book, but I come to discover that, look, in any organization, particularly as you're striving to make your organization a learning organization, you must of a necessity create structure, all right, that will recognize learning at 4 levels. All right. The first level is individual learning needs. The second level is team learning needs. The third level is organizational learning needs. And the fourth level is industry learning needs. Because what it simply means is that at any given point in time, in fact, as a matter of fact, there is this guy that wrote a book, The Art of Learning Organization, Peter Senge. Peter Senge said in his book, all right, that the challenge for any learning organization is to provide a platform and an atmosphere where everybody can learn how to learn together. I take that again. Atmosphere for people to learn how to learn together. The reason is that people are always learning different things at different times. And trust me, people are also investing in their learning at different points in time. But an organization that will be able to harness and tap into the brilliance of its workforce must of a necessity create that kind of framework whereby if, who was that, Patrick Oche, decided to train himself in a particular area that he considered that he has deficiency, all right, I should find a way to promote him. I mean, I should find a way to encourage him, because ultimately, whether directly or indirectly, that advancement in learning will impact his own performance. So the organization must be liberal enough. Yes, I have budget for organizational related trainings, but I must have initiatives and reward system, incentivization schemes to also encourage individuals that are investing in themselves, even though, let's assume that I'm at the head of training and I decided to go and learn something on because I'm in training, almost everything will tie to me, but you just decide to learn something that is totally outside of banking. All right. Then over time, there should be, we run what we call performance. We use balance scorecard in my organization. And balance scorecard, under balance scorecard, we have learning and growth. The learning and growth aspect, it fits into your performance appraiser. So we have core competencies and we have non-core competence. So your core competence are the things that organizations are training you of. You can begin to train yourself on areas that are not your core competence, but at the same time, you will have credit. You have credit hour that will report. I mean, that will amount. I mean, that will count for you. All right, in your appraiser. By that, I'm not promoting you based on that you have trained yourself in something that is not aligned, alignment with the organization, but I'm appreciating your learning spirit, all right? Your passion for learning, your commitment to learning, all right? Because, please, I'm closing with this, that every organization should always ensure that they reward the behavior that they want to promote. Find a creative way to always reward the behavior that you want to promote. So if I want people to be, learners in my organization, if I want people to have passion for learning and all of that, I must find a way to reward them.
Beautiful.
It doesn't have to be financial reward.
Yes.
All right. It can be by recognizing them and putting them on projects. Because I know that you have acquired this, okay, join this project, even though it's not in your department. People love that kind of recognition. Yeah. And that kind of reward also, it will work. So I say to that person, it's important, continue to train yourself in areas of your passion, otherwise you are going to be frustrated. You are going to end up being frustrated. As I am in FTMB, there are other areas that I'm passionate about. I am investing in myself. When I went to Harvard in 2016, it wasn't my organization that sent me to Harvard. I went there and it is just for my own personal fulfillment. But later on, there is a place where I'm able to plug the experience in Harvard now. Are you
fantastic? Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Adam, let me ask you this. I think hearing you speak initially, I guess you'll be able to use your personal experience to answer this question. So, how do you approach personal development when the financial resources are not so available? So I'm a young guy, I don't have so much money, but I want to learn. And then, of course, it costs money to learn. And I remember you were saying that you didn't want to get into debts, all right? Well, you needed to do what you needed to do.
Yeah, I didn't want to get, I wish the world was as it was now when I was young.
Yeah.
It wasn't free, no, but now everything on Google is free. And that's the problem that all companies are facing. Why should I do business with you? I'm circling the runway at the minute with this answer, but I'll get to it. So, why should I do business with you if I can Google it and get the answer for free? Why should I take that training course if I can just Google it and get it for free?
Yeah, get it for free. Yeah,
it's the biggest challenge ever. So, in the UK, we have government loans, things like that. I'm not sure what the landscape is in Nigeria for you to do that. But then the other side of the fence is, if you didn't have money to do something, I think, it's an interesting challenge. I think everything now, I'm just going to go back to the Google. Everything's free. Everything is out there. You can research a product to service a salesman just as much as you could, buying a house. There are reviews for everything. you get close to booking a hotel room and then you see a review for like 2 stars for the hotel and it'll put you off despite the fact there are 80,000 other reviews of 5 stars. There are ways out there for you. Look, this comes down to one basic human feeling: motivation. Motivation. Are you going to give up because you can't do it? Well, if you want to give up, then sorry, sales isn't for you. Don't, as I said, sales can be the easiest and lowest paid job or the hardest and the highest paid. So your question of, whether or not your remind me of your question, Gobenga, is whether...
Yes, I was asking if you didn't have the resources, so how would you be able to learn, and then be able to do all that you have to do in terms of acquiring knowledge?
Okay, well, here's a question to all the people attending. Why don't you just put that into Google and see what the answer is?
Yeah.
There are so many other ways out there of teaching and learning. How did I learn? I found myself a fantastic mentor who, by the way, was ex-British Special Forces. There is no word as no. There's no such word as no. I can't do it. No. Well, why not? Well, find a way to do it. People in the army don't end up, people in the army, they don't get into battle and go, actually, we can't invade that country. We're coming home. They adapt, overcome, and do it, right? That's how they won. That's why there's monuments all over the world to them, because they are heroes. They are being rewarded. They are installed, and that's why they make the greatest leaders ever. I mean, the CEO for the Chartered Institute of Marketing is an ex-British Army officer. So British Army officers are or I'm not going to say just British Army, maybe Nigerian Army as well, but army officers in general have this can-do attitude. There is no such word as no. You have to develop yourself. You have to do it yourself. There's your mother, your parents, your family will only get you to so far. Once you get to university, you're on your own. And then I was
just going to say that, I mean, I don't know, maybe for a few, sometimes we do not have the resources to do everything that we need to do. All right. My friend went to Harvard. I would have also loved to be in Harvard, you know. So, you know, I mean, life throws that at us that we're not going to have all the resources to do everything that we need to do. But with the little resources that you have, how much have you been able to do? You know, sometimes we might be waiting for the, you know, for the $1 million, for the £1 million to be able to go to the Ivy League. But the little education that you could get from, you know, from YouTube, just like you said, how much of it are you using? How much of it are you using, you know, to improve what you're doing? I mean, some of these resources, I mean, amazing resources that are just available for free. All right.
If I give some examples now of where people could go, TED Talks, they're free.
Okay, TED Talks, yeah.
You could go on. Most membership bodies now are offering free content. Have a look at their content. Their content is written by sales directors from all over the globe. Yeah. Have a look at Wyman Publishing. There are global publishers. They produce content all the time. Pearson, they're a huge learning provider. They provide
Okay. I always say this to people, that evidence terminates all argument. Evidence terminates all argument. And I think it aligns with what Adam was trying to say also about resource blinds. All right. Now, this is it. You can't come to me to invest in you when you have not demonstrated value. I need to see that you are already adding value even beyond your immediate scope. You can't be doing exactly what I've asked you to do and you think that I want to now invest in your personal development. No, this is it. Everyone must recognize that, one, for you to be able to have the right to demand for anything from your organization, you have to arm yourself with hard data, facts and figure to prove to the manager, look, if you don't, in fact, you can call them, if you don't train me on this, all right, I have options. So for that person, all I will tell you is that make sure that you communicate your value, your relevance, all right? Make sure that you are meeting your numbers. Make sure that you are delivering value to the organization and they can see. You know, in organization, there's something we call talent management. All right, make sure that you have demonstrated your competence to the level whereby you have been classified as a talent in that organization. Because talents in organizations are they enjoy different incentivization scheme. They enjoy different reward system. They enjoy different career progression or career plan in the organization. All right. So once you are able to put yourself on the map of like I'm a talent, all right, in an organization, trust me, most of the time before you even ask, all right, they will propose to you that because I am the head of the training, I'm head of FCMB Training Academy, and guess what? We have some people in the organization that we would send them a mail that yes, based on your performance, the organization would like to send you to LBS. Please tell us which program would you like to attend in LBS.
Fantastic.
Do you understand? So now it is your choice. So it is not so much of functional training. It is not so much just, it is a developmental, personal, it's a motivational tool. We are using it to motivate you and to get you more loyal to the organization. But nobody would give that to you on a platter of gold. You have to demonstrate that you have what it takes to keep you.
Fantastic. I just love these submissions. I mean, for me to recap it, it's just that you should use your performance to demand for more investment in you.
Yeah.
you know,
and
because
please let me say this to people, because everybody needs to understand this. In any organization where you find yourself now, stop working for salary. Please, everybody, help me put it in the chat room. Stop working for salary. Because the moment you focus on the salary you are being paid, all right, and you only give that which is commensurate to what you are being paid, you have automatically placed a ceiling, a cap on your growth. But if you pay me 1,000 naira and I'm giving you, output of 10,000 naira, trust me, that is my value. But if I say because we are paying me 1,000 naira and I'm giving you the output of 1,000 naira, nobody will know what the value, the capacity that I have. And that is why sometimes when you want to ask for promotion, be sure that you are already doing beyond your job description.
Absolutely.
Are you with me? So everybody, work for reward. Your reward can come from outside of your organization. Somebody else will notice that this guy has capacity to function at a 10,000 naira level, but he's being paid 1,000 naira. So let me bring him in and probably even pay him 5,000.
Yeah.
Mobility.
Sorry to cut in. There was an element of, don't reward someone for years of experience, reward someone for what they've actually achieved.
Yeah,
absolutely. Your results, yes. Oh, wow. This has been an exciting time. I think what I want to do at this moment is to allow people to be able to ask questions right away. So if you have any question that you would like to ask, I know I still have a few questions on the list, but I mean, it will be fine for people to be able to ask questions right now. So if you have any question to ask, please, you can just unmute yourself and then go ahead to ask your questions. And you can throw it at any one of them. Yeah, I mean, they'll be happy to answer. Yes.
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon, Emeka.
Well, my name is Emeka. I'm calling. I work with you.
Okay.
The question I want to ask.
Can he type it in?
Oh, I guess this network is bad.
Let him type the question in.
Type it.
Oh, Emeka, we have problems hearing you. Please, if you could just type in your question. Emeka, could you just type in your question? We are finding it very difficult to hear you. I guess the network at your hand. If you want to try again maybe for the last time. Otherwise, you can just type in the question. I will read it out.
The connectivity is weak.
Yeah. I'm sure we can hear you, Emeka. Please, do we have any other person that wants to ask a question? Just type it. Just type in your question, Emeka, please. Any other question, please? Kemike, I think Kemike was trying to ask a question.
Emeka, we can't hear you. We cannot hear you. So the network is bad. The connectivity from your end is weak. So type your question in the chat room and we're going to address it. Thank you.
Yeah, so do we have any other question, please? Just unmute yourself and ask your question.
Is it me? Hello?
Yeah. Taufik.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. My name is Taufik Sani.
Okay.
I've had my experiences in sales, marketing, relationship management, customer service, because while doing sales, I captured these two other skills: relationship management, customer service. Now I realize that over the past 5 years, I've been doing things around HR in this, especially in L&D. Yeah. So now I'm switching to HR, and in fact, that was after my university. I wanted to do HR, but looking for a job and all that really affected a lot. Then I just saw a sales job in the bank, Stanbic IBTC. Then I started. And now I left Stanbic IBTC, been in several industries, and now I'm back. Say, okay, let me just go back to my HR, and I want to start with L&D. Why did I say L&D? I've done some programs, both physical, online, training, vocational training, job opportunity, things like that. I've organized all those things, and I brought some professionals, I mean, with big names and even growing and like
Just
that.
go to the question, Taufik. Let's have the question.
That I am in the space. So what are the courses? What are the things that I should be looking at that can give me some added advantage in terms of speed?
In HR, okay. So I think SO can answer that question.
L&D,
yes, please just let
there.
Yes, so just
Thank
let
you,
SO
sir.
answer you the question. Yes. So the guy is joining your camp. Is sorry, Adam, you are losing somebody. He's leaving sales to join HR.
All right.
Still carrying out
Two things I'm going to say. One, I commend your commitment to learning, because that is what has actually really, taken you around. And of course, you develop yourself in the process. You are a typical example of somebody that is investing in his own passion, even though it is different from what the organization has employed you for. So now that you have made up your mind that you want to switch to HR, I think the starting point would be for you to register with CIPM. Chartered Institute of Personnel Management would expose you to the entire curriculum of what HR is all about, all right? And that would also now give you the level to become, recognized in that space. It will give you the opportunity to be recognized in that space as a professional HR, because CIPM is the regulatory body for that HR profession in Nigeria. That's the apex body. And if you want to now look at international certification, you can look at CIPD, all right? And you can also look at SHRM, all right? These are different, professional bodies that you can actually register to become part of them. And you by doing so, you join a community of people of like minds, and that can also fast track or propel you further in what you are trying to do, okay? And that will give you more authority, like we said around here, because that's what Benga was saying earlier on. Certification only confirms what you have been doing it. But when you have the certification, all right, it's just like it authenticates and validates you. Yeah. All right, so that's it. So that's what you should do. Look for professional courses, CIPM, CIPD, SHRM, all right? Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, Adam, okay. If you can have this, what do you do in an organization where employees ignore training? They say it's a waste of time.
Well, one, why did they join the company in the first place? You have to find out their motivations. I'm talking as a boss. I'm assuming that's
big boss.
So, right, find out. Well, what was the desire for the person to join in the first place? So I would have a very strict kind of sign-up process really for people. What I mean by that is perhaps record the interviews, have them on record saying, or not record because that's a bit too devious, I guess. But yeah, it comes down to what was promised when he joined. Why did he join? That comes down to motivation. Second kind of thing is, it comes down to who does he aspire to be? If you take away the product, the services, who does he aspire to be? Was there someone in that company that he joined? Was it like me? Did he join because there was someone above him or someone in that organization that he wants to join? Or perhaps he lost his way. So the other way you could encourage. So one, encourage him. First off, you have to look at, right, let me answer this question. First off, you look at why he joined. What was his motivations? Two, you use examples of other colleagues or other people in his organization who have taken learning and have got a pay rise and are traveling all over the globe and sharing on their Instagram. Stuff like that. This is who you can be if you do this. So you sell them the dream. And thirdly, if they don't want to do it, then you basically, there's two options. Either you keep him where he is and you make it aware that, well, in my organization, we have a path of learning. And if you don't want to go down that route, then you better, prove yourself in another department. You better.
So Adam, sorry, I think there's a rejoinder to that question. So the guy, the person that is asking this question is saying the guys are not interested in the training because it is not a certification training. So the guys are interested in having a certification. I guess something that would.
Oh wait, I get you.
Help them to get
You can't run if you don't walk first. You can't. People want instant success. That's what really annoys me about society now.
Yeah.
They see people with the car. They see people with a nice motorbike or a nice watch, and they go, I want that. And they just want that. They don't want to do all the little bits in between. I'm sorry. Well, if you want to do that, you have to take all the little courses first before it's about commitment. I'm not going to spend 30, 40, 50, 500, whatever, how many pounds or naira on you for a little course if you don't want to take the big course, which will get you the what. So it comes down to motivation. It comes down to appreciation of what you have. There are people in the world now who haven't got jobs. There are people right now who are on benefits trying to get back into work. There are very skilled people out there right now without work at all. So your opportunity, the fact that you've got a job, be grateful. And be grateful for the opportunities that your boss will give you to take training. Why would you say no to training? Why would you ignore it? Why would you? I don't understand why people would say no to.
As a matter of fact, Adam, if I can come in, all right, you need to let those people know that can you be too busy driving to stop to get gas?
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you say it's a distraction, you are running out of fuel. All right, your tanker is going to zero, and you are saying that you are busy. You want to. I mean, there's something that is more important than branching into the filling station and refill your fuel. It's a misplaced priority. And what I think organization cannot do in that study is that for me in my organization, let me tell you what we do. All right, your training is part of your performance appraiser. It's part of your performance appraiser. And when you fail to meet that training hours, all right, you know what happens to you? You are sanctioned. People are sanctioned. Not only that you are sanctioned for not attending the training, sometimes you can be debited if it is a training loss of time and you didn't show up, all right? They will book the cost of the training for you as a loan. Yes, now, because it is an investment. Remember when we had a conversation the other day, I said some people treat training as expense. But for me, in my organization, we have been able to demonstrate to them that training is an investment. So if I ask you to come for training and you are not coming, what it simply means that, I mean, you are not willing to support the business.
If you knew everything, you'd be the boss, right?
Yeah, he should be the boss, actually.
Exactly. He should be the boss. All right. So,
okay, so maybe we just continue with the other version of. So someone is asking a question, is flipping the question. So what if you are in an organization where the employer is not interested in training the employee? I think we've answered this kind of, but maybe you just want to emphasize this again.
So again, two things, depending on your own role in that organization. For me, you said something earlier on that we don't always have enough resources to do everything that we want to do. The same thing applies to organization. Sometimes they might want to do, but they don't have the resources to back it. So where that is the case, then everybody needs to embrace innovation. You have to innovate. You have to be pragmatic. You have to be creative, all right, about the learning. For instance, there is a mantra in my academy that even though management can cut training budget, but you cannot cut training. They are two different things. You can cut our training budget, but you can't cut training because there is no shortcut to it. So that is where I now said part of the values we have in the academy is to embrace resourcefulness, because resourcefulness is superior to resources. My classic example to demonstrate that for you is that I want to take ice cream right now, all right? I can go to Cold Stone Ice Cream, and Cold Stone Ice Cream on the average, I will spend between 2,005 or thereabout to get a cup of ice cream. But and again, let's assume that's on the 22nd of every month, maybe when you are paid a salary, you can walk into Cold Stone and buy Cold Stone ice cream without thinking, without blinking an eye. But the moment it's like maybe middle of the month, your resources are depleted, your salary is depleted, and you have ice cream, you have craving for ice cream, you have to think twice. So you become resourceful. You have to think of alternatives to Cold Stone. So you have to consider maybe KFC, whereby their ice cream is about 200 naira per cone. All right, or you go to Fan Ice, or you look for something else just to quench that. So what I'm now saying is that, Adam said earlier on that there are free resources online, so you can converse to partner with your HR, partner with your L&D, and tell them that, look, there are platforms where people can train freely. Adams mentioned earlier on that there are platforms. I listed some platforms here for you if your organization doesn't have the money to train you. Go to EDX. EDX is owned by Harvard. They have free courses, they have cheap courses, and yet they have certificated courses. There's also Coursera. You can go on Coursera. There are free courses on Coursera. There are also paid courses on Coursera. All right. There's also Udemy. There's LinkedIn Learning and all of that. So you just need to now become creative. If we can't spend so much money, at least spend little. Because with $8,000, sometimes $18,000, I said, sorry, $18, not 18,000, $18, you can get a course on Udemy. All right. And you will also, so I believe that you can propose this to your organization, become resourceful when you don't have resources, because resourcefulness is superior to resources, even as an individual. Adam just told us now that he didn't go to formal school, but he was able, see him now talking to all of you, or all of us as well. So it is not so much about the way you got the learning. The most important that the learning must happen. Whether your organization is able to give you or not, or you are able to propose to the organization how they can do it. And I'm sure, I'm also sure that there are instances whereby you yourself, you volunteer to train organization staff free of charge.
There is I've just shared a link with Gabenga. There was a very famous story that happened here a year ago or so, I can't recall. A boy who grew up on a council estate, driven by gangs, sought on improving his life by knocking on doors in London's wealthiest streets, and has now forged a career in the city. So there are two, you could do that. I'm not saying do that, but you could try. Knock on the doors of wealthy people and go, how did you get to where you are? I'm not sure you can do that in Nigeria. You might get shot, but just an idea. This guy just got out there and knocked on doors. As I said, you have to, the only person who can get you up that mountain is you. Your mum, your parents can show you the mountain. And at the top of the mountain is the top of the mountain is the nice car and a nice house and all the rest of it.
That was a good one. I love that. Benga, please unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, Benga.
Hello, can we see us?
Unmute yourself. Benga, unmute your mic. Your mic is muted.
Okay, Meka, please ask your question. Yeah, please go ahead and ask. I think that's the last. That's the last question we're taking today.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm asking is, there are some organizations, when you work for them, you don't have an option. So the training, they keep it aside. And they feel they will keep telling you that the country's economy does not warrant training and all that. And you see them, they don't even talk of improving the staff. They only believe to play the to lay off the staff and employ another person. And continue laying off and employing because they believe that they can always get employed. In the next question, what?
Emeka, I think we have a serious challenge, listening to you. Please, Oche, Patrick, please, can you go ahead and ask your question?
All right. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for putting this together, and I want to especially all the panelists for the insights they have shared with us today. Mine is not a question per se. Maybe from the discussion that came up, I want to come in from another perspective, where the question that was asked that an employer training, whether it's for one that is not a certification trainer and all of that, then having an employee in an organization and you think you're in the wrong place. I think there are things that we need to do. It's just that in this space, we don't value professionals. If we have from the search for a job to fill a job role, there are things in the HR management that talks about person specification, job specification, and organizational fit. From the onset, how do we manage to bring people who are not fit into the organization to place them to handle a role? I think there's something that we need as professionals, we need to begin to put attention to. From this job, from the initial employment stage, we should be able to identify, because the point of at the point of interview, there are some attributes that recruiters look out for. So how do we manage to bring someone who is not organizational fit in the first place? And then how do we praise someone from the interview who does not value training? For as per say, maybe you're an organization, you just know that, okay, your culture is that if anyone has an open mind to training, you can change the person, can become a organizational fit. So
I get your question. I get your question. So I think you can answer that. I mean, Patrick is just trying to know how are you able to nip the problem in the bud before it becomes a problem, before even that employee joins the company. You want to know whether it's someone that is open to training, somebody that wants to learn, because I mean, a lot of guys put it on their CV. I am open to learning. I can acquire, all those beautiful things, so it's asking, how do you check, so that the values are well aligned, before the guy comes.
Anyway, I want to believe that from the way Patrick, spoke, he has an idea of some of HR processes, because he was alluding to the HJA, which is human job analysis, and PPA, which is personality profile analysis. And again, marrying the two together to see whether the person fits into the organization or not. So now, at the recruitment, any organization that doesn't do what we call competency-based recruitment or competency-based interview will always miss out on a lot of vital issues, all right? Particularly things that will help you to identify whether this person is the best fit for our organization. Now, somebody can be technically fit, somebody can be technically sound, but what about the organizational competence? What about the behavioral competence? What about the leadership competence? What about, and this is where, because learning is a soft skill that resides within the way the person behaves, your attitude and your response to learning. He alluded to being open. Are you an open-minded person? Okay, and again, don't forget, sometimes the cost of recruitment can be so high, sometimes that some organizations cut corner. Because ideally, when you are bringing somebody to the organization, you need to be able to check them on their aptitude test. Most of the time they do aptitude test. But beyond aptitude test, you're also supposed to do psychometric test. Psychometric test will always throw out some additional information about the person that they can use to make the final, selection decision, as the case may be. So I agree that once you are unable to stop that at the recruitment point, when they come into your organization, then you must have some policy that can either force them to become a learner, all right, whereby there is consequence management for not learning. And of course, it impacts on your performance. There was a particular year until you finish some of the mandatory training. Some people were not paid, their upfront. Until you complete it, you are not going to be paid your upfront. The upfront is the component of your salary that is paid to you in bulk at the beginning of the year. So there must be some consequence management, particularly, like I said, don't forget motivation can be both positive and negative, all right? So some people love sanctions, some people love motivation. So you have to sanction people that are not, are not responding easily to your motivation. And of course, motivate those that want to be motivated. So that's my submission. Organization needs to either block it at recruitment level by having what we call competency-based recruitment or competency-based interview, all right? And be able to, sift out people that that does not have the kind of values, all right, that they want in the organization. And where you have failed in doing that, then you have to have some organizational policies and procedure in place that can address it where there are where you identify people like that. So that's my submission.
Thank you so very much. I'm not sure we still have anyone that wants. Okay, you want to say something, Adam?
Can I say?
Okay, please go.
I think all of this. I think the overriding thing about this is how do you link performance to education? How do you link? I mean, that's the mentality behind someone, right? Because they're thinking, well, Elon Musk can make it, and he didn't go to uni, so why should I bother doing this training course, right? I think there has to be, that is the biggest unanswered question of the century. I take a couple of training courses and I've suddenly closed a £200,000 deal. Is it because of that training course, or is it just because I did something else? How do you
the right factor?
Companies, it's almost like that Leonardo da Vinci, God touching the hand of, man. You need to demonstrate, companies need to demonstrate once and for all that this training managed to make this deal. Or this training helped this company achieve this. Or this training, whatever that message is, because that's the battle I think that companies are losing right now.
Yeah, and so Adam, that was actually what I started my introduction with. I started my introduction by saying that organization must begin to, carry out what we call return on investment on training.
Yeah.
All right, and the return on investment on training, there's a method, all right, through which you can do that. The very simple way to explain it is always establish the performance level before the training, and after the training, go and reevaluate the performance level, and look at the variance. And once the variance is positive, all right, and use that as a justification, all right, to validate that training has added value, positive value to the business. But it is usually a very, thorough process. And therefore, not every organization does that. All right. For instance, there is a guy called Kirkpatrick. He has about 4 levels, in fact, 5 levels of measuring training effectiveness. Most organizations the first level, which is reactionary. The second level is behavioral. All right. And the third level is the impact on the business. All right. And the fifth level is actually the ROI, when we are now measuring whether you have been able to add naira and kobo, all right, to the business. And you can measure it either in qualitative measure or qualitative measure. So I agree with you. You are able to establish that.
I think, though, one point I would make on that is that companies need to make it so simple my mother could understand it. Don't give employees a book that big to go, look, this is how amazing we are. I think because I think, there's that very famous, I don't know who says this, but make a paragraph a sentence and make a sentence one word. It's almost attracting the right candidates is almost like online dating. You need to find the person you want. You need to find the person you'll have a future with, and you need to be sure that you're outdoing the other people. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how, but that's the thing, because there are there are other companies out there competing for this graduate or this person. So linking training to ROI, but making it simple.
All right, thank you so much. I think we need to begin to round up. So let me allow you to continue. Adam, please, can you give us your parting shots on this? I think we've had some.
I was thinking about this. So this is my wrap up. It'll be about 2 minutes. So try and time me and tell me if I run over. But
okay.
Sales and selling have a bit of a bad rap these days. The idea has become synonymous with manipulative and pressuring behavior. However, we forget that we spend our days selling. Have you ever been in a conversation where you've had a belief or an opinion that differed from someone else's? I mean, we've had some today. Have you ever had to convince your child to pick up their toys, or convince your partner to take out the garbage? Have you ever had to convince a company to hire or promote you? We have talked today about skills that someone learns from experience from a sales job. Those skills are persistence. Tell me if I'm wrong. So perseverance, discipline, punctuality, confidence, determination, persuasion, negotiation. These are all real world life scenarios that you can use in sales. So I'm just going to do 3 kind of wrap ups. One that I think all of us can kind of attribute to. Now, as a parent, or there are parents on this call, I'm not a parent, but I have a godson, so I'm about halfway there.
Yeah.
As a parent, you are always selling and using your sales skills. Whether or not you know it, you are. Because parenting a child is a lesson in negotiation and persuasion.
Absolutely.
Convincing your 3-year-old that it is in their best interest to take off that costume and have a bath, or negotiating with your teenager to have more responsibility in exchange for freedom. However, parenting also utilizes your time management skills, your persistence, confidence, and determination. My second one for you would be your personal life. I talked about online dating. We might go there again, but if you're part of the world of online dating, you sell yourself as someone who is honest, trustworthy, and worth the time and effort of the other person. As a salesperson, you're not only selling this idea, but you're also using the other skills you've learned: confidence, punctuality, perseverance, etc. Even after another terrible date, you're going out there doing it all over again. Even if you're not single, you're still selling yourself as an ongoing long-term partner, which I can probably attest to, negotiating what you have for dinner, who does what household chore,
the vacation,
or what you want to watch on Netflix, right? You're also using perseverance and determination to get through the inevitable arguments that happen around tough periods in relationships. And my final point is work life. And this is my big one. And this is what relates most of all to this thing. No one wants to remain stagnant in their career. No one. And if you are, you're just, good luck. Growth and movement is what challenges you and rewards you. Selling yourself to your company or a prospective company is essential to its growth process. You should view an interview similarly to a sales pitch. You are pitching yourself to a company, and they are selling you on to come work for them. Meeting with your boss to discuss a promotion or a raise is a negotiation. You pitch why you are worth that new position or the added investment, and then the negotiation, etc. Failing to be confident, failing to be persistent and determined in your pursuit of growth will equate to a lack of growth, and you'll just be a nobody. No one will remember your name. The skills we learn, and my closing summary is this: the skills we learn from a sales role: persistence, what were they? Perseverance, discipline, punctuality, confidence, determination, persuasion, negotiation. There's hundreds of things I can throw at you. Become an unconscious part of the way we present ourselves to the world.
Thank you.
Making sure that you are comfortable, confident in the skills will ensure success as you move through life.
Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you so much. So please, can you do a wrap up for us?
What else you want me to say? Adam has given us a 360-degree summary. And I think the only thing I can add, 2 things for every other person on this call. All right. Adam was saying that you also need to know how to sell yourself, because again, as a salesperson, the most important product in the portfolio of product that you sell is you. All right. And you have to make a success of that. So just always remind yourself that the most important product in your portfolio of products that you are selling is you. So master the art of selling yourself very well. And one of the ways in which you can sell yourself to your employer consistently is for you to be a SAM. So I love telling people to say something. Please go to the chat room. Say, I will be a SAM, S-A-M, and I will break down the SAM for you. say, I will be a Sam. I will be a Sam. Put it in the chat room. While you are putting it, let me break down the Sam. All right. Always ensure that you solve the problem. The S of the Sam is have that problem-solving mindset. Don't be a complainer. Don't be somebody that is always complaining and complaining and complaining. All right. Be a Sam. Solve the problem. Hey, address issues, because the reason why you're in that organization is to be able to address issues. There will always be issues in any organization where you find yourself. There will always be issues in any sector where you find yourself. And therefore, your job, all right, to communicate your relevance is to be able to address issues. And the last one is to manage situations. Yes, your job is also to manage situations, because things will not always go the way you envisage. Things will always go the contrary way. All of us this year, everybody, we are all managing the situation where we find ourselves. Therefore, you need to be a Sam, and every employer needs a Sam. Every employer will reward a Sam. Every employer will celebrate a Sam, and therefore you have to be a Sam. And to be a Sam, you must be mindful of three things. To be a Sam, you have to always live in the moment. Every minute of your life, make it a moment. And for your moment, gather momentum. And by the time you gather momentum, you will build a monument. Ladies and gentlemen, your monument is usually the legacy that you leave behind. And that is the impact and your contribution to the bottom line in the organization. Thank you very much. I think that's it.
Fantastic. I almost glided into a room where I'm listening to a motivational speaker, as Shola was speaking. Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen. And also, let me thank everyone that has been part of this today. Adam, Wednesday is one of the busiest days of the week in Nigeria, I must tell you. So for the number that we have today, I'm so excited, and I want to thank these people for sparing this time to come. Usually we have this on Friday, but we can understand why we cannot be able to do it on Friday, because work is lighter. People are on, there is this TGIF mode, so people can spend more time. But the truth is that there are people that have started with us for over an hour ago, and they are still with us. So I want to thank each and every one of us for taking time to be with us today. I'm going to quickly see if I can. Lares, Emeka, Adam, Adebanjo, Adeola, Adewale, Emeka, Kemike, Lares, Laolu, Ogunyemi, Omobayode, Patrick, Razak, Sam. Oh, Sam, thank you so much. Silken, I hope I know the person behind there. Taufik, Tobiah, Tosin, and Yisabelo. Oh, Yisabelo, thank you very much. Adam, Yisabelo just got his certification from ISL.
Nice. Well, congratulations.
Yes, Yisabelo. So
and Gabenga has been invited as the first ever Nigerian to become a judge at the Besma Awards.
Yeah. So I'm just praying that COVID gets out of the way so that I can come and be the judge. I mean, in Besma, it's going to be a wonderful time.
Benga, can I share the video from the Besma Awards, the opening one? It's quite inspirational. I think people might like it.
Okay, yeah, quickly.
So these.
How long is that? 1 minute, 2 minutes?
Oh, people can play it in their own time if they want to.
Oh, okay. The link. I thought you were going to play it.
Oh, do you want me to play it?
If you can, just 1 minute or two, or you can.
Oh, okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to send this link. I'll send it to people to play at their own time.
Okay.
So. I just sent it to you privately. If I'll send it to all the people.
Yes.
So this.
Okay, so video, I can see it. Yeah.
That was a link that we played.
Yes, I got it.
That's a link to a video that we played. Play that after the webinar's finished. Turn down the lights. Turn up the music. It was played to 1,000 sales professionals on a screen the size of a football pitch. I think it was absolutely massive. Maybe not a football pitch, maybe a bus, but it was huge.
Yeah.
So take a peek at that, and it's a very inspirational video about sales, which I think you'll enjoy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that resource. I love getting new resources.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone. So as we leave, I'm going to share, according to the instruction by Adam, I'm going to share that video. So, so can you see the video now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you're not playing any sound. Shall I?
Oh, you didn't select the sound.
I'll play it on mine.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can play it. Okay.
Okay, hang on. Oh, you want me to play it now? You're putting me on the spot. Okay, hang on. Right. 2 seconds. I'm going to see if this, hang on. Okay, share screen.
Select audio as you're sharing so that the audio can.
Yes, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's try this. So share. Oh, okay, I can't share my screen. It's probably.
Okay, don't worry, I'll share. I'll share.
Rewind it. Worst introduction ever. Hang on.
The second one.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Start it from the beginning.
Oh, okay. Okay, I should take it from the
Right. We're there.
It's about 2 minutes video, I'm sure. I guess I'm messing it up. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I wanted people to watch it in their own time, so that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
so
fine.
I guess people can watch it later. Sorry, I wanted to get the other ready, but I think it's messing up. Okay, thank you so very much. I don't know if I have the.
If you aren't going all the way, why go at all?
Yes.
So you must give it your all, everything.
Yes.
Give it.
That's the awards that Gabenga's going to be presiding over. Now you're playing it again. Feels like torture. You can, yeah.
Okay, the second one, yeah.
Underestimated how long it would take me to walk around the room yet. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here at the Best Smart Awards. Now, taking part in Best Smart is a challenge in itself. It gives every nominee the ability to showcase their talents and demonstrate why they are the best in the hope of becoming a finalist.
Talent is not
Each and every one of you makes a significant contribution to the goal of professionalising the sales industry. And I would like to ask you all to put your hands together and show your congratulations to all our nominees, finalists, and the winners this evening.
Thank you so much, everyone. I believe we're going to do this again next month, sorry. Oh, okay, so.
I think Adam is out.
Yes. So thank you very much, Eso. I so much appreciate your time that you have, shared with us today.
Thank you, Ellie. Have a great night, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been an absolute treat. Thank you so much for spending your Friday night with me. I've been Ellie Taylor. Enjoy yourselves. Don't puke in an Uber on the way home. Bye. Good evening, Wembley. You are all amazing.
So the news is that I've actually been appointed or nominated as one of the judges, to preside over this award in 2021. Was actually supposed to be done this year, but because of COVID-19. So I will be presiding as one of the judges in this award in 2024.
To be here at the Best Award. Now, taking part in BESMA is a challenge in itself. It gives every nominee the ability to showcase their talents and demonstrate why they are the best in the hope of becoming a finalist. Each and every one of you makes a significant contribution to the goal of professionalising the sales industry. And I would like to ask you all to put your hands together and show your congratulations to all our nominees, finalists, and the winners this evening.
Hello. Yes. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I hope to see you next month. Thank you so much.
It's a great honour for me to be asked to be president of the ISN. I have to say it's one of the biggest honours of my life. This is a fantastic organisation. They honour the best talent in the sales industry in our country.
It's an honour and a privilege to be here. You look wonderful. So, 600 excellent salespeople on the lash. I'll just test the waters. What do you think of Donald Trump? Do you like Donald Trump? No. You don't like Donald Trump? What's basically happened, anyone that doesn't keep up with this, what's basically happened is a TV personality with overly white teeth who's always saying controversial things and takes no tact has been elected to high office. Yeah, that's right, this is my time, people. Okay, on to the awards, the reason why we're all here this evening. These are the awards. If you've got really good eyesight, you can already see who's won.
Happens until somebody sells something.
Okay, we welcome everyone who decides to join the sales industry, but also those keen to progress and develop themselves, perhaps through educational qualifications,
in a way that enables them to serve their
determination and commitment.
Then we're on purpose. Then we're achieving massive things. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you to Yale. Thank you to Thomas and everyone at ISM. Thank you, Ellie. Have a great night, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been an absolute treat. Thank you so much for spending your Friday night with me. I've been Ellie Taylor. Enjoy yourselves. Don't keep on the way home. Bye.
Let's hear it for all the winners this evening. Well done, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So we'll see you again next month. Bye, and have a wonderful day and the rest of the week. Thank you.